Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I like to share with you tips and tricks for clutch control. Let's start the lesson. Okay, so the title of this video is Tips and Tricks for Clutch Control, which means I am sharing with you all of the best tips and tricks for clutch and the clutch control. First of all, when you are learning to drive in a manual car, clutch is one of the most important thing plays the role when you are learning in a manual car. Because for you to drive the manual car, you need to learn about the clutch, you need to master the clutch, you need to know everything about the clutch. The more you know, more better you will learn, more better you will understand, more better you will be smooth when you are driving a manual car. And this is why in this video I like to share with you all of the best tips and tricks for the clutch. And the best way I could do that, to give you all the best tips and tricks on clutch, is by explaining the job of the clutch. What does the clutch do? If I could explain to you the job of the clutch, what does the clutch do, you will fully understand everything about the clutch. You will get all of the best tips and tricks for clutch control. So let's talk about the job of the clutch. What does the clutch do? Obviously, this is the gas or accelerator. This is the brake, and this one is the clutch. In this video, I am not going through all of the controls. I'm just sharing the clutch control, the best tips and tricks. But if you need to know about the controls and the rest, there are other videos on the channel for you to watch. I'll leave a link on the description of those videos for you to watch. But in this video, main focus is on the clutch, the tips and the tricks. So this is the clutch. This one is the clutch, and this is what we are talking about in this video. The clutch does three things. The job of the clutch is three things. The clutch moves the car, clutch allows you to change gear, and the clutch allows you to keep the engine running at the end when you stop. Okay, so three things: moves the car, changes gear, and also keeps the engine running at the end. This is the three things. So let's talk about one by one so that you fully understand the clutch and you get the best tips and the tricks of the clutch. Number one, it moves the car. Many learners, they think that is the accelerator or the gas moves the car. It doesn't. That's the gas. The gas doesn't move the car. Many learners, even many drivers, they think is the accelerator or the gas pedal, which is this one, moves the car. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how much gas you give. It doesn't matter even if you put your foot down to gas or the accelerator, the car will not move unless you bring the clutch to the biting point. It's the clutch moves the car. Yes, you will need some gas to move the car, so you give a little bit, which is about 1500 rev to move the car. That's how much you need to move the car. But unless you bring the clutch to the biting, so that's the clutch. You put the clutch down to the floor, you go to first gear, and then you give a little gas, which is around 1500 rev, okay, this one, and then you bring the clutch up. You bring the clutch up really slowly to the biting point, and then you will feel car starts to go. There is a point where known as biting point. That is where the clutch is to move the car. Okay, so what is a biting point? Biting point is a point where halfway, around halfway, just before clutch all the way up, there's a point where it's known as biting point. So the biting point is where it bites for the car to move. That is why it's known as biting. It bites. Okay, so you bring the clutch up slowly until the biting point. Biting point is where it bites for the car to go. Okay, how do you know what the biting is? When you bring the clutch up, you will hear the engine noise changes, you will see the bonnet going up a little, and you will feel the car wants to go. You will feel that. Okay, so the bonnet will go up, the engine noise will change when it comes to the biting. Also, you will feel the car wants to go. You will feel that because the handbrake is on, you will feel the car wants to go. That's the biting point. When you bring up to the biting point, and from the biting point, fraction more clutch up, and car starts to move. Okay, like I said, it doesn't matter how much gas you give, unless you bring the clutch to the biting point, the car will not move. So we learn from the clutch, the first thing is it moves the car. So the first job of the clutch is it moves the car. That's the first job. Number two, it allows you to change gear. You can't change gear without the clutch. So every time you need to change gear, you off gas, put the clutch down, and you change gear. Once you change gear, you bring the clutch up, and just before all the way up, you give a little gas. Okay, if you are changing from first to second, that's when you bring the clutch up halfway to the biting, give a little pause, give a little gas, rest up. So from first to second, you put the clutch down, you go to second gear, you bring the clutch up halfway, give a little pause, give a little gas, and the rest comes up. And then from second to third, fourth, fifth, and the rest, you put the clutch down, you go to third gear, fourth gear, whatever gear, bring the clutch up, and just before all the way up, give a little gas, so that soon as the clutch is fully up, the gas is already there. So second job of the clutch is to change gear. There are other videos on the channel how to change gear. I'll leave a link on the description. But in this video, the second job of the clutch is to change gear. You can't change gear without the clutch. And the third job of the clutch is to keep the engine running. And this is where many learners, they get it wrong. For you to slow the car, for you to stop the car, don't put the clutch down. Many learners, what they do, there's a problem coming up, and what they do, they put the clutch down first and then they brake. You shouldn't be doing that. Remember, that's not the job of the clutch. If you need to slow the car and if you need to stop the car, first thing you do is you cover the brake. You cover the brake and you gently brake. Car slows. Nothing to do with the clutch. That's not the job of the clutch. You brake, 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 and then if you need to stop fully, which means at the end, put the clutch down. Why is that? Because if you brake hard to stop the car, you will stop the car, but the engine is going to cut off. Why? Because you need to put the clutch down at the end. If you don't, engine is going to cut off. So the third job of clutch is to keep the engine running. How? You put the clutch down at the end. So for example, you're driving along and there's a traffic light coming up and it's red. Off gas, cover the brake, cover the clutch. Just cover, don't do anything. Now you brake, brake, brake. Nothing to do with the clutch. You're covering, just prepared for you to use, but don't use it. So you brake, 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 and just before the car stops fully, put the clutch down. Why? So you keep the engine running. Otherwise, you will stop, but the engine is going to cut off. You have to restart the car again. You will have to restart the engine again if you don't put the clutch down. Okay, so cover the brake, cover the clutch, brake, 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 put the clutch down at the end, and then you stop. Handbrake on, neutral, rest your feet. So that's the three things, the job of the clutch. It moves the car, allows you to change gear, and it keeps the engine running at the end. Which feet do you need for the clutch? Only the left feet. Never use the right feet. It's never the right feet. It's always the left feet. Okay? The left feet. Whenever you need to use it, cover it and then put it down and then bring it up slowly. The other thing about putting it down and bring the clutch up is when you put the clutch down, it goes quickly and up slowly. Make sure you remember that. Very important, okay? So when you are changing gear or when you are moving the car off, you put the clutch down quickly, but it comes up really slowly, really slowly. Because if you bring it up quickly, you will stall the car and you will feel that kangaroo car shaking. Okay, one of the reasons why the car shakes is because it didn't bring the clutch up slowly. Okay, down quickly and up really slowly, really slowly. Okay, make sure you remember that. Make sure you remember those tips and the tricks, because that's how you become a smooth learner, you become a smooth driver when you're learning in a manual car. Few other things about the clutch is when you go on a hill and you are doing the clutch control to move the car, for you to avoid rolling back, put the handbrake on. Because when you stop on a hill, this is your feet. That's how your feet is going to be on the brake and clutch is down. Okay, now for you to go, you'll have to give some gas. When you off brake and give gas, what's going to happen? The car is going to start to roll back. So before you take your foot off the brake, put the handbrake on so the car doesn't roll back, and then start giving gas. Okay, so let me repeat that again. So you stop the car on a hill. Now you stopped, you're on a hill. Now, if you let the brake go, what's going to happen? car's going to start to roll back, because you need to give some gas now for you to move the car, right? But you can't give gas now, because if you do, car's going to roll back. So what do? You put the handbrake on first, put the handbrake on, and then what do? Off brake and start giving gas, and then you bring the clutch to the biting to move the car. Okay. Secondly, don't cover the clutch at all time. Many learners, many drivers, they just cover the clutch at all time. They're driving and their foot is on the clutch all the time. Don't do that. Your feet should be on the floor. When you're not using the clutch, it should be on the floor. Your feet should be on the floor, not covering, because you're just covering for no reason. Why are you covering? Because you don't need the clutch to stop the car, you need the brake. Okay, so when you don't need the clutch, don't cover the clutch, put it here. That way you are more relaxed. Your mind is not working on that feet for no reason. When you're not using it, put it on the floor. When you need to use it, then cover it, use it. Once you've used it, put it on the floor again. So don't cover all time when you don't need the clutch, because you're driving along for a long time and you just keep covering the clutch for no reason. Your feet is there for no reason. It's no good for your feet. It's no good for your clutch, because if you just press a little bit without you knowing, it's no good for your clutch. Also, for you to stop fully in an emergency, you might put the clutch down first before the brake, and that's no good. I do have another video on emergency stop. Watch that. He explains more which one should go first, but don't cover the clutch. So these are the tips and tricks I'm sharing in this video. And like I said, the more you know about the clutch, more you understand the clutch, more better you will learn, more quicker you will learn, which means you will save time and money. So get to know the clutch. Don't just go to the lesson and try to take as much as you can from the lesson. Learn in your own time. Google it, watch video. I mean, here I've got other videos on my channel about the clutch. Many videos actually, the clutch control, the hill starts, the mastering the clutch. There are many videos on my channel about the clutch. Learn about the clutch. The more you know, more better learner you will become, more better driver you will become. Also, you will save a lot of time and money if you get to know the clutch. So I hope this video helps. If you need help on learn to drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course, which gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. The course has more than 30 videos on the course, giving you everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read. And if you like it, you could always join the course. Thank you for watching. Please do give a thumbs up if you like the video. Please do make a comment. And also, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos. And hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.